Hey friends, it's Laura with Laura B Floss 2. Welcome or welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you tuning in and coming along on these crazy little adventures that I get us into. So today, what I would like to do is share with you my next quilt along that I'm going to be doing and recording here on Laura B Floss 2. This is definitely a me project, I guess I would say. This is my own idea, my own design, my own process, all of that kind of good stuff. So I really do hope you enjoy it. I would preface that also by saying that this may not be something that all of you will want to do, but I do hope that it encourages you to just kind of think outside the box, be creative with your quilting, bring in ideas from different areas of your life, and kind of just think about what you want to accomplish and something unique and special just for you. So this is what we're going to do. First of all, you will see there is a stack of fabrics here beside me, and I have way more fabric than I'm going to need for this project, like way more fabric. But it's I have this much because I want to make sure I have enough variety to tie into what we're doing. So you're like, what are we doing? We are going to be making a wall hanging for my living room. My husband and I are now empty nesters, and it is a super exciting time in our life. We love our girl so much, and we're so proud of her, and we're so excited that she's kind of, flown the nest and she's establishing her own place in the world. But that leaves us with a lot of new experiences, I guess. So this last year at Christmas, I'm just going to be forthright and tell you that I was not really excited about putting up the tree and doing all the ornaments and all the decorating and all of that, because for the most part, it's just my husband and I, and with pets and everything else going on in our life, it was just a lot to undertake. So we were talking and I was like, it'd be nice just to have a tree on the wall that you could just decorate instead. And then we both started talking and we're like, I could totally make that. So I'm going to make a wall hanging that is, I'm going to say it's probably going to be around 7 foot square, maybe 6.5. We'll see how it works out. And it's going to have a great big tree on it. So, and then the tree, what I'm going to be doing is adding some buttons that I can hang like our super special ornaments from. But I don't want to be just piecing a big green blob on the quilt. I want it to be a little more special, a little more keepsakey, and I wanted to be able to pull in a few different techniques that I really enjoy, one being applique. So what I have done is I've found a graphic online and then I modified it to fit what my needs for the quilt. And I would tell you that I'm not going to share this. I'm not going to share the graphic. I'm not going to share any of that because I didn't create the entire graphic from scratch. It was one that I found that I modified. So I don't want to, I'm not going to share it. I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to do any of that. So please don't ask. But obviously you can go out and find graphics, and maybe it's not a tree that you want to do. Maybe it's a winter scene, or maybe it's a summer scene, or maybe it's a bouquet of flowers. You can apply the basics of what I'm going to show you to make any type of pictorial quilt that you would like. So here's our graphic, and this one has been inverted because I wanted to be able to label all my pieces. So I'm going to share the other graphic up here. This is what the graphic is going to look like that I'm going to recreate in fabric. And then this one, I inverted the colors just so I can add in all of the numbers so I know where my pieces go. So the basic idea, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this graphic up on my computer, and I'm going to use a projector to project it onto my design wall. And then I'm going to hang interfacing on my design wall, and I'm going to trace around all the shapes, numbering them just like my pattern here as I go. And then I'll go ahead and I'll pick all my fabrics and do the interfacing turn applique just like you do for your Lori Holt quilts. Then we'll be appliquing them on to a background and adding our buttons, and we'll have an amazing Christmas tree quilt that we can hang special ornaments on. So that is the grand reveal, guys. That is the project. That's the basics of what we're going to do. I am also going to caution you that I have not done this before. So we're going to learn together. I'm sure there's going to be some mistakes and mishaps along the way. I am not going to sugarcoat that for you. I'm going to make sure I share those and say, okay, so I tried this and it failed. So now we're going to try it a different way. And we're just going to go through this process together, figuring it out. So my other thing with that is that as we're going along, if you have ideas and suggestions and comments, I want you to add them in and kind of give me some ideas on how would you change this? How would you do it differently? Do you think I'm completely insane? Any of that is welcome, and I look forward to interacting more with you as we go along in this process. So before you leave today, I'm going to show you a few things that I have set up just to kind of get my things in line, just in case you are interested in this type of a project. I want you to know what kind of supplies you need. And then we're also going to go through some of my fabrics, and we're going to talk a little bit about what the next video is going to include. So with that, let's first look at the fabrics. Okay, so obviously for supplies, the first thing I did mention we're going to be doing some interfacing. So let me just show you that too. So in case you do want to do this, you know what I'm using at least. You can, I'm sure there's like different ways that you can do this. I'm going to be using a Pellon 30, and I did just order this from Joann's. They had an interfacing sale. It's like 40% off. So, and then on the bolts, they gave you even more of a discount. So I just ordered a couple bolts of that because I use it for the Lori Holt quilts. And I'm also going to use it for this. So I knew that I would need quite a bit of interfacing for some projects that are coming up. So here are my 3 background fabrics. And the background for this quilt, what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to measure this. And I haven't done that yet, so please don't judge me quite harshly, quite yet. This is going to be the background of the quilt. And what I'm going to do is cut this into either 10 or 10.5-inch squares, depending on the full width of the fabric, and just sew the squares together. And that's going to be the entire background of the quilt. So basically, it's going to be kind of like a whole cloth that I'm going to be appliquing onto. And these fabrics, my husband got these for me for our anniversary this last year. From one of the 2 Ben Franklins left in Missouri, which is super cool. These are Riley Blake fabrics, and they're part of their Christmas collection. Let's see if the salvage tells me exactly what these are. It just says Riley Blake Designs. I don't know if it has a, yep, here we go. This is Riley Blake Designs Swiss Dots by the Riley Blake designers. So that's what this one is. Super cute. Just a white background with a couple different shades of green and a red polka dot. And then we also have some reindeer. And this is also a Riley Blake fabric. Let's see if it tells me. Oh, no, it's not. This is a Moda fabric. Oh, I'm so sorry. I love Moda too, so this is amazing. It's like he knows me, guys. It's like he knows me. Okay, so this is a Moda fabric, and let's see, it's Reindeer Games by me and my sister. So if you're looking for this one, now you know. And then this one is also a Moda, and this is also part of the Reindeer Games line by me and my sister designs. Cute selvages, cute, cute, cute. So if you saw my video about making selvage blocks, you can definitely save some selvages. All right, so now all of these fabrics came from Marshall Dry Goods. They had a clearance sale on some of their Halloween and Christmas fabrics. And I really kind of wanted to grab some different shades of green because I want my tree to have a lot of interest to it. I didn't want like all of it to be the same color green. So that's why I have so many different fabrics on this, is I just wanted to be able to have some lighter and darker greens just to make the tree more interesting. So we have some Santa Clauses, we have reindeers, we have snowmen. Let me move you a little closer. All right, we have stockings, presents, candy canes, bells, holly, more candy canes, little gingerbread men, that's super cute. Just a different type of candy cane and ornament. stockings, again, holly, and some more little gingerbread and candy canes down here. All right, so that is going to be, and along with these two greens as well, just because I knew I had some larger pieces in the tree that I may need some larger pieces of green. So those are going to be all of our green branches. Then we have a star on top of the tree, and I wanted it to be gold. So I do have, and I just pulled this from my stash. I believe this came from Connecting Threads. And it is, oh, I don't know if it even tells us what it is. I've used part of this, so part of the selvage is gone. It is Connecting Threads, and here's the ID for it. But that's going to be the star on the top of our tree. And then this is going to be the trunk of our tree, and this is a Moda. It's basic gray decorum line. And so this is going to be the trunk of the tree. I just felt like this pattern would give me a really cool kind of a wood grain texture without being, you know, too boring. So that's going to be the trunk. And then when you look at this, my design is going to be with also some reds and blues. And so when you look at this, you see the stars out in the sky. Those are all going to be the blues. And then the circles are going to be red. And then inside the tree, I'm going to do the opposite. So all of the stars are going to be red, and then all the circles are going to be the blue. So and if you notice, I didn't label all of my little circles in here, and we're going to do some shortcuts on making those circles as well, which we'll talk about once we start tracing our shapes. That's probably going to be the next video, just so you're aware. So here's the blue and the red fabrics that I'm using for those things that I just mentioned. And then we do have a few stars out in the background that have kind of an inset flower. Those, or I guess just two of them, those inset flowers are going to also be cut out of the background fabrics. So that's kind of the plan on the fabrics and the Pellon. So again, just to recap, definitely some Pellon 30 for your interfacing. And depending on how big of a quilt you're making is going to determine how much fabric you need. But I know I have way more fabric than I need to make this quilt. But that's okay, because like I said, I wanted a wide variety of fabrics in the green for the tree. All right. So that's the fabric and the interfacing and a basic rundown of the pattern and my plan for that. The other thing that I am going to be using, and you would need if you wanted to mimic this, is you need a projector and a laptop and a graphic, of course. Okay, so let me show you the projector setup, and then I will show you how it's going to project on the design wall, and we're just going to wrap this video up because that's pretty much all I want to do is just introduce you to the project idea and introduce you to the basic supplies that you need. The first thing is I'm using a projector to project the image onto my design wall. And okay, if you look on Amazon or at your local Best Buy or whatever, projectors are expensive, right? But I don't need a fancy projector for this. I just need a very basic projector that I can hook up to my laptop and project an image. That's all I'm looking for. So my husband actually looked on Facebook Marketplace and we found several people with projectors for sale. And we ended up finding someone locally that had several of them, and he was selling them for like $40. So $40 is a minimal investment when I wanted to do something like this. And especially when, you know, you consider how much money we spend on rulers and special templates and fabric and all these other things. So for me, $40 was very reasonable. And now I have a projector that I can do this with, or, you know, another quilt another time with it. And we actually were like, ooh, we could project movies and have all kinds of fun stuff too. So it's very basic, you know, but it's going to work beautifully for this project. So if you're interested in getting a projector, I would highly suggest you check, you know, resales. Like eBay or Facebook Marketplace or something like that, rather than buying a new one, which could be, you know, who knows, a lot. It could be anywhere, you know, a couple $100 to $500, depending on what kind of model you get. So I would caution you, just one thing you need to know about projectors, typically the light bulbs are really expensive to replace. So you might want to think about like checking in and seeing what kind of light bulb you would need to replace it, and making sure that it works before you buy it. Make sure that they like prove that it works to you. So the other thing I have going on behind me is my laptop, and that has the graphic on it. You're going to notice that it's sideways. I'm going to show you why in a moment. But the graphic is sideways on my laptop screen, and I have it full screen just so when I project, I can see all of it on my design wall. So for the projector, right now, if I show this over here on my design wall, let me flip this around so you can see it. You're going to notice my tree is going the wrong way. So that's why it's flipped on my screen, because I want the tree to be big. So I'm going to turn the projector up on its side because, like I said, it's a very bare bones model, and there isn't a way to rotate the image from the projector. So I rotated it from my laptop, and I'm going to physically rotate the projector onto its side. So let me show you what the setup on my desk looks like for that. Okay, I'm like literally just putting this on its side. Now it will stay there, it's pretty steady. I'm just laying this up on my design wall too, just so it's right when we turn it around. It's pretty steady and it will stay there, but I don't really want to take the chance of ruining my projector before I even get to use it. So I'm going to put a couple things here on either side just to add some stability. This will also help if the cat happens to jump up there while I'm working, but he actually has been locked out because he really likes seeing the image projected on the design wall. So I'm lining that up over there. All right, now let me flip you around so you can see what we have. All right, so here's a design wall. So you can see when I stand next to this, I'm 5'4". So this tree is going to be probably about 5 feet tall. And then all the shapes, obviously they measure out different sizes. And so this is all I'm showing you for today though, okay? But basically my next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be hanging pieces of the Pellon interfacing so I can draw directly on them on the design wall. So yeah, that's our setup. So I showed you the projector, I showed you the graphic on the laptop, and now I've shown you the projection onto my design wall and explained my next steps for that. I hope you're excited about this project. I'm super excited about it. I am really anxious to get started. So I'm hoping I will have one video a week out there just talking about the progress and the next steps for this project. But please don't hold me to that because I'm also, working and I'm in a class for graduate school. So there are some other things going on in my life. So it may not be like as rigid of a schedule as the balloon quilt along was, but I do hope you follow along, and please do comment and share out the videos and share out the idea and give me some feedback and let me know, do you think this is a great idea? Do you think I'm crazy? Where are you at with it? Are you going to try to get yourself a projector and play along? Do you think that would be insane? However you're feeling, wherever you're at, please leave me a comment below. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I hope that you have some time to be creative, think outside the box, and of course, until next time, happy stitching.